Unexpectedly, getting your period when you're at work can be no fun. We've all been there. And in today's video, I'm going to give you a couple tools and tips on how to better handle that situation. I know that there's been a couple times when I have been underprepared, I started early, and all kinds of stuff that can happen at work. And so it's really important that we're prepared and we're educated so that we can make having our period at work way more smooth. Before I get into those tips, I want to talk about what happens in our bodies during our period. So the menstruation phase is the first phase of our menstrual cycle, and during this time there is an influx in hormones which can make us have severe PMS symptoms like some heightened anxiety, some feelings of depression, lethargy, you can be bloated, crampy, your boobs can be swollen, all kinds of things that happen during our menstrual period. That is totally normal. It happens to all of us. It's just because our body is trying to deal with the influx of hormones. That being said, if you're wondering why you get emotional before and during your period, that is why. It's completely normal to feel emotional 5 to 10 days before your period, even the few days leading up to your period. You can be a roller coaster of emotions, and even the first couple of days of your period, you can still be experiencing those symptoms, but just know that they will go away, they always do, and that it's completely normal. There are a couple of things that you can do to help with those symptoms, and there are some things that you can do at work to make it a little more comfortable for you. The first step to handling your period at work is to make sure that you plan ahead. If you know when you're going to start your period or you have a regular period, make sure that you're prepared and you have tampons in your purse, or if you use a menstrual cup, that you're carrying it with you. The good thing about a menstrual cup is if you know you're going to start on a certain day, you can even put your cup in anticipating that it is going to start, and you can be extra prepared. That's one reason why I love menstrual cups over tampons. And once you do have the menstrual cup inserted, you can leave it for up to 12 hours so you don't have to make frequent bathroom trips at work. The next step is to get comfortable. During our period, it's very common for us to blow, and not just in our midsection, but to blow all around. So if you can during this time, try to wear something a bit more comfortable. Maybe don't opt into those really stiff denim jeans. Maybe try to wear some pants that have a little more room and a shirt that has a little more room so that you can feel comfortable. Also make sure that you wear shoes that are comfortable. Basically just taking your mind off of any symptoms of bloating or PMS that might be uncomfortable to you. The next tip is to make sure you're coping with cramping. During the first couple of days of our period, we can have really bad cramps, and it's important during this time to double down on your hydration. Make sure you're drinking a ton of water. Also, try to cut back on caffeine like coffee, tea, or soda just for the first couple of days. And if you get really bad cramps, try taking one magnesium in the morning before work. Magnesium makes cramps so much more tolerable. I'm speaking from personal experience from someone who gets really bad cramps. Magnesium helps big time, so make sure to keep a couple of those on hand as well. The next tip is to make sure you're getting additional supplements in. I just mentioned magnesium if you have cramps. There is also magnesium in nuts and dark chocolate. No wonder we crave chocolate around our period. But aside from your daily multivitamin, make sure that you're supplementing vitamin B12. This can help exponentially with energy, and it's just a really good vitamin to help support us through our period. Next is to notice what you're eating. Where you might be craving salty, sugary, greasy foods, make sure you're eating light. Think fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, lots of tofu, whole grains, things that will sustain your energy and also give you really good nutrients. I know it's hard to not opt for ice cream and maybe french fries, but where you should allow yourself to have some treats, make sure you are getting really good nutrients from the food that you're eating and eating nutrient-dense foods. And last but not least, make sure you are moving your body and getting some form of exercise. I know it's hard to want to move on your period. We typically just want to curl up and binge Netflix, but it actually makes you feel so much better if you can do something as simple as take a walk on your break at work, maybe step outside and do a couple laps around your building on your lunch break, anything to get your blood flowing so that you can release happy endorphins. You might be wondering if you can take off work during your period, but unfortunately, menstruating women aren't recognized in the workplace in the US, so that just depends on your job and your boss. And if you are having a day where it's just too much, maybe you could use some PTO or vacation time just to take a day for yourself to kind of deal with your period, maybe recharge so you can show up to work better the next day. Unfortunately, again, there are no real ways for us to miss work because of our period, so hopefully these tips make it easier for you to handle your period while at work.